suggests not only that there is extraterrestrial life, but that they have already visited Earth at some point, which begs the question, where is everybody?
What up, people? It's your boy. Yes, I am back again. It's another reaction. This time, it's not to a paranormal video. This is to a video by a guy named Gavagan. I don't know. I just saw the video, and the title of it makes me want to do a reaction to it. 10 paradoxes to make your head hurt. Twisted Tens, number 45. Now, the reason I thought about this is if you've seen Stephen King's The Tall Grass, when you think about what came first in that movie, that'll hurt your brain. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's not the greatest movie. It's had bad reviews. And although I still thought it was alright. It's a film based on the story from Stephen King and his son, Joe Reed, I think that's his name. But go check it out and drop your comments below and let me know if that hurt your brain. Trying to think of the paradox that's in that movie. I'm not going to give it away. Matter of fact, skip past this point until you see me hold up a peace sign, and you'll know. So in Stephen King's Into the Tall Grass, there's like a time thing to where they go into this grass and people get taken or something. Not taken, but they're in there forever, and then all of a sudden you come find out that they're going in at separate times. But there's a kid that goes in the beginning of the movie because he hears a guy's voice. Well, a couple goes in because they hear the kid's voice. And then a guy goes in because he hears the kid's voice saying, "Help me." The thing is the guy that hears the kid's voice that says, "Help me," is the same guy that the kid is hearing asking for the help. So it's who was in the field first, the kid or the guy? What came first? Ultimately, the guy would have came first. The kid was there before him, but yet the guy was in there before the kid got there. You see what I'm saying about it's trying to think about it and trying to make sense of it is going to hurt your head. But, guys, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe. Oh, here. Peace. Yeah. Hey, come back. All right, guys. Now that you're back, I hope y'all didn't spoil anything for you if you didn't go back and if you didn't fast forward past it. Now, before we get into this video, I want you guys to go down, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and share the video. There's a few of the links that I want you to click on, but they're in the description. You got to click that description to do it. Now, guys, let's get into this video. I want to see what 10 paradoxes to make my head hurt.
Trying to understand the nature of the universe can lead to intriguing revelations, or paradoxes. At first glance, it might make sense, but in the end, it can contradict itself or imply the impossible. And trying to understand it can really make your head hurt.
Interstellar movie right there, that's one of them that does it for me. Rob Dyke. Thank you, Rob.
If you're job searching, you're familiar with the term experience needed. The frustrating nature of trying to get ahead in life, but being denied an opportunity because "You haven't yet succeeded" is a paradox many know all too well.
Oh, yes.
A catch-22 is when a person cannot make gains because of a contradictory rule. The phrase was coined in 1961 by author Joseph Heller in his book Catch-22. The protagonist of the novel, John Yossarian, attempts to prove he is incapable of duty by way of insanity. If successful, he can avoid flying in dangerous missions. However, the psychiatrist explains to John the Catch-22. Any pilot trying to escape duty cannot be insane because avoiding combat is smart. Thus, the pilot is sane enough to go on the mission. This prevents any pilots from using insanity as a reason to skip their next mission. Popular culture adopted the phrase to describe a no-win scenario. The novel was also adapted into a 1970 movie starring Alan Arkin as John Yossarian. The film was not particularly successful, but showcases the frustration that John and his fellow pilots endured during wartime.
Alright, so that right there, I've had that plenty of times. I say it all the time. You go get a job. It says experience needed. How am I going to get the experience if you don't give me the job? Experience needs a college degree? What if it's like restaurant experience? You don't need college degree to do restaurant work. You just need somebody to give you that opportunity. Recently, I was passed over for a job because I didn't have a college degree. And they asked what kind of experience I had in the type of job in management. I haven't had no management experience because I haven't had anybody give me that opportunity. I have personally trained people that have become managers, trained them to be a manager. Because I don't have that degree, I didn't get the job. So, yeah, I've had that, and that does fuck with you.
In the 21st century, we place heavy value in the material. Cell phones, televisions, video games, and fancy cars, mostly expensive items. Whereas the things we cannot live without, food, water, and oxygen, are for the most part very cheap. The paradox of value states that while
Food
a
is not
commodity
cheap.
like water is essential to our survival,
It's not cheap
diamonds
either.
are more expensive. Scottish economist Adam Smith has tried to explain this contradiction in his book Wealth of Nations. He says there are two meanings to the word value: value of use and value in exchange. Items that have the highest value in use, like water, have very little value in exchange. On the other hand, items that have high value in exchange are low in value of use, like diamonds. Smith also believes that the trouble it takes to acquire something is directly related to its value. Then there's the explanation of diminishing marginal utility. Imagine a farmer who has 5 bags of grain. The first bag is used to make bread to eat so he can survive. The second bag makes more bread so he can maintain his health. The third bag is used to feed the animals on the farm. The fourth is to make whiskey, and the fifth is to feed pigeons. The value of the last bag is lower than that of the first bag, which is worth his survival. The more bags he has, the less value it appears to have. To go back to our original paradox of diamonds and water, the more water we consume, the less we place value in its consumption. But in the case of being stranded in the desert, would you trade a diamond for a glass of water?
Yes.
That answer just may be yes.
Go in the comments and let me know, would you? Or would you hold out hoping that maybe you'll find that escape, that paradise, and you'd have a diamond in the rough? Or will somebody find you and they get that diamond in the rough?
There have been countless debates for centuries about the existence of gods. Whether you believe in one or many gods, these divine beings usually have the gift of omnipotence, unlimited or very great power. The omnipotence paradox is a challenge to this concept. Putting aside the question of whether gods exist, assume there is one watching overhead. This being possesses unlimited power. Could they create a stone so heavy that even they could not lift it? If yes, their strength is limited. If not, then there is a limit to their power to create. Either answer challenges this being's omnipotence. One of the counter-arguments to this paradox is that an all-powerful being created everything, including laws of logic, so they must follow their own laws that define their existence by not creating the stone at all. We may never have an answer to the omnipotence paradox unless we discover the truth about the existence.
Now, with that one, I often ask the same question. I'm not a religious man. I do believe and I do have faith in a higher power. But that is a question that I like bringing up to people who are really religious and seeing their brain hurt. Next time you're with a preacher, ask him about that question. About God lifting a stone that he cannot lift. About him creating a stone he cannot lift. But yet, he is the all-powerful, should be able to lift anything. But yet, can he make a stone that he cannot lift?
Existence of a god, but some argue that human logic cannot be applied to a god's logic, and that a god's power is so limitless that he could make a paradox make sense, and that humans trying to decode a god's ability or intelligence is like a fly pondering human thought. It just doesn't seem to go that well for the fly.
How do you know they can't ponder human thought?
The concept of time travel makes us ponder the consequences of our actions. Going back in time, the possibilities for change are limitless. So what happens if you eliminate one of your ancestors by mistake? The grandfather paradox poses this question. If, for example, you traveled to the past and eliminated your paternal grandfather, there would be immediate consequences. Your father would never exist and neither would you. But if you did that, then you wouldn't exist to kill your grandfather, so would you still exist after all? California State University professor Bradley Dowden made the argument that generating a contradiction like this means that time travel itself is not possible. World-famous astrophysicist Carl Sagan proposed the idea that nature and time have a consciousness that prevents these kinds of disturbances from happening. But erasing yourself from existence could have even worse consequences. According to the butterfly effect theory, even the smallest actions can have significant effects, and you may unknowingly set the future on a collision course for disaster.
I've always wondered that thing. Do you believe in time travel? And what would happen in your thought process? What would happen if you killed somebody that led to you being born? I've thought about that plenty of times. As if I went back and changed one thing in the past, what would that lead down to? I don't know what led up to me being born. I mean, I know something about what led up to me being born, but maybe I knocked somebody off of a path that was supposed to meet somebody else, and that pushed somebody into a path that's supposed to meet my great-great-great-grandmother. And then that would mean that they wouldn't create another person that created, blah, 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 so. But damn these videos. Because you could go on and on and on with these theories. All right, let's get into the next one. Ooh.
There are many visual paradoxes that will leave you questioning reality. Two-dimensional figures that can imitate projections of three-dimensional images. The most well-known of these is the impossible staircase, or the Penrose steps. Created by Lionel and Roger Penrose, the impossible stairs consist of 4 sets of stairs, each of which move upwards and are connected together. If you try to ascend these stairs, you end up back at your starting point. The same goes for descending the steps. This unique design was also featured in a 1960 M.C. Escher lithograph print titled Ascending and Descending, which depicts two identical lines of men going up and down the never-ending staircase. Escher's print could be considered a commentary on our everyday lives, as both sets of men continue to perform the same task over and over again to no purpose. The stairs have been featured in popular movies, including the film Inception, where the steps are used in dreams by the architect to keep opposing forces away from the rest of the team. You may someday dream of these steps on your own, but it's probably best to just stay away.
Okay, so, alright. I think I kind of get the idea of the Escher's print, and where what he was saying, it in real life, it's people doing the same thing every single day and not going anywhere. It's like getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work every day. You get up, you go to work, you do your job, you come home, you go to sleep. You get up, you go to work, do your job, come home, go to sleep, without any progress. Me personally, I don't like that. I'm at a job that my focus is I am going to go a step up in this job. If I don't go a step up in the job I'm at, if I don't continue to get raises, if I don't continue to if I don't get promoted in a certain time frame, I am gone. That's any job I go to. I don't care where it is. I don't care how fun the job is. If I am not constantly progressing in that job is no value to me. Me personally, as a person, I want to progress in my own business. If I'm not progressing my own business, then I got to switch focus and do something new. These videos, I love doing these videos, and I'm going to progress. That's why I'm going to go to school. That's why I'm going to learn more techniques on filmmaking to where I can become a better filmmaker. Podcasting. I started out with audio podcasting, matter of fact, I started out doing podcasting on my own thing. Here, there. I started doing my podcast on Anchor. I've done it in the past. I fell out of it because I started doing video stuff. And that, to me, going from audio to video is a progression, but I still might do some more audio. So if you guys look in the description, you can follow me on Anchor. So guys, let me get into the rest of this video, because I can go on and on about these paradoxes, and I love scientific stuff. I guess it's the nerd in me that loves this stuff.
The great minds of Greek history influenced mathematics, science, philosophy, and even our tales of morality. One of the most interesting thought experiments, however, is the ship of Theseus. According to the Greek historian Plutarch, Theseus returned from the island of Crete on a wooden ship that was preserved for years as a symbol of the hero's triumph. As time passed, the ship's original wooden planks began to rot, so to preserve the ship, each bad panel was replaced by a new one, until the entire ship was composed of newer panels. But does the refurbished ship still count as the ship of Theseus? Philosopher Thomas Hobbes wondered if the old pieces of the ship were used to recreate the original ship, which vessel would be the real ship of Theseus? At what point does the ship with replaced boards become a replica, if ever? On one hand, a refurbished vessel remains the ship of Theseus, as its original intention, look, and function are still intact. If both ships were still able to make the journey to and from Crete, are they the same ship? Time may also play a role in understanding this paradox, as both ships were not constructed at the same time. Thus, only one of them can be the original ship. Whether you believe both are the same ship or that it doesn't matter, this paradox still gives your mind a bit of a twist.
Alright, my thoughts on that. The original ship started falling apart. They put pieces together. It's like say, the Empire State Building. A piece of it comes down, they put a new window in. So somebody busts the window, jumps out the window. Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, I know it's happened plenty of times. But somebody busts the window. What do? They put a new window in. Say somebody busts all the windows in the building. They put new windows in. Is it still the same building? Yes, it's still the same building. It's still the same structure. That ship is still the same ship. It just has new pieces added to it when the old pieces went bad. It's still on the same frame and same ship. It hasn't changed ships. It ain't like say, all right, for instance, Titanic. The first Titanic crashed. There's a new one they're building. It's not going to be the same ship because it has nothing to do. It might have the same design and same everything. Same design. Sorry, my screen went all blurry for a second. But the same design as the old one. It is not the same ship because it's not the same frame. So in that one there, it's not a paradox. It's just people are being stupid. Liar, liar. Hey, a Jim Carrey movie made it.
Imagine a scenario where a close loved one is kidnapped. The kidnapper leaves a note saying they will return your loved one only if you correctly guess what the kidnapper will do to them. The kidnapper cannot lie, whether you guess correctly or not. What happens if you guessed that they would not return the loved one? The liar's paradox is an interesting concept. If the liar is actually lying, then they are telling the truth, which means they are also lying. The kidnapper cannot keep his word and return the loved one if the intent all along was not to return the loved one. Also known as the Pinocchio paradox, the simplest solution is to reject the idea that every statement is either true or false. The founder of temporal logic, Arthur Norman Pryor, asserted that the liar's paradox is not paradoxical at all. He believes there is no difference between saying a sentence is true and saying a sentence is both true and false. Whether you agree with the solution or not, the scenario presents...
Man, it looked like that dude got knocked in the head. It looked like he got a knot on his head. Look at that. Did his wife hit him in the head? And her eyes are all red. But on this one, that question is the same. It's how, like, for instance, Batman. It's how Batman stumps the Riddler. By giving him these impossible questions.
A dilemma.
Answers.
What would you do to save your loved one? And in the end, would it actually save them?
Isn't that the same thing in that was asked in about the 2 cups in Princess's Bride when they were doing the cups? Isn't this theory the same theory that they used in that movie? Somebody comment below, let me know. I've seen Princess's Bride 100 times, but I can't seem to remember about it right now. So let me know if I'm right. Comment below.
The Legend of Zelda video
Legend of Zelda made it into this
game series has remained popular across 4 decades. One of the games, the Ocarina of Time, gives the main protagonist, Link, the ability to travel into the future to save the land of Hyrule. During the game, you are a part of a paradox known as a causal loop, which is when one event is the cause of a second event that in turn causes the first event to take place. In the Ocarina of Time, an organ grinder named Guru Guru plays the same loop of music over and over. Later in the game, when Link travels to the future, the man is furious at the sight of Link's instrument, the ocarina. The man tells Link that in the past, a young boy played a song on his ocarina that caused his windmill to spin out of control and drain the town's well. The man teaches the Song of Storms to Link, who then returns to the past and plays the song for the man again, thus draining the well. So which event came first, and where did the song originate from? This loop has been subject to plenty of fan speculation, and the song's origins aren't revealed until a later sequel, Majora's Mask, after the events in Ocarina of Time have already unfolded.
That's pretty much the same thing that we talked about earlier with the going back and messing up something in the past and creating something in the future. If it hadn't been messed up by you, from the future you, how can the past... I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Not going down. No.
The most ridiculous of circumstances can allow us to challenge what we know about science and push forward to discovery at the cost of others. Schrodinger's cat is one of the most popular paradoxes discussed among scholars. Completed in 1935 by Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger, an oversimplification of the thought experiment explains a scenario that involves a cat sealed inside a box with a radioactive source and a vial of poison. If a Geiger counter detects radioactivity, the vial releases its poison and ends the cat's life. According to the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, the cat is both dead and alive at the same time. Once the box opens, the observer will see the cat as either alive and confused or dead. The question is, at what point is the cat one or the other? Scientist Hugh Everett hypothesized the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. Once the box is opened by the observer, their state becomes connected to the cat's condition. Even today, the question continues to help scientists understand the nature of observation. One thing is for sure, don't try this at home.
Nope. I'm not even gonna comment on that one because I lost track of it in the middle of it.
The popular TV series The X-Files explored the possibility of alien abductions in our modern world. This brings us to our next paradox. The Fermi Paradox is a contradiction that there exists a lack of evidence, but a high probability. According to Italian physicist Enrico Fermi, there are four main points to his argument that aliens are already here on Earth. They are fairly straightforward. 1. There are tens of billions of stars in the universe that are the same as the Sun. Plenty are even older than our Sun. 2. It is likely that many of these stars have planets that exist in a habitable zone, like Earth, and they could have formed intelligent life. 3. This intelligent life may be able to produce interstellar travel. 4. Even if interstellar travel is relatively slow to the speed of light, our galaxy is about 100,000 light-years long. Fermi suggests not only that there is extraterrestrial life, but that they have already visited Earth at some point, which begs the question, where is everybody? There are several factors as to why there is no concrete evidence of alien life. It's possible humanity is the most advanced species in the universe, despite other regions of space existing for much longer, or extraterrestrials have already been here but left no traces, or the remnants have yet to be discovered. Advanced life may have existed here before, but destroyed itself through technological warfare. Maybe intelligent life is too far away to travel this distance and survive. After witnessing the terrible crimes against our own kind, aliens may not want to communicate with humans, or they may just be waiting for the right moment to strike. Either way, humanity cannot answer the question of where is everybody yet, as Arthur C. Clarke once said that two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. That's all for now. My videos like this one are regularly demonetized on YouTube, making it harder for me to make content.
Alright guys, that's it for the video. If your brain hurts, I'm sorry, but I love this kind of science shit. This is the shit that I watch when I get bored. It also helps me learn, because the more I watch this stuff, the more I learn, the more theories that I can come up with, the possibilities. Like, for instance, my film stuff. If it wasn't for stuff like this, my mind wouldn't think about things in the film community. Now, I want you guys to drop comments about each theory and tell me what you think about each one of them. Like I said, there was one I couldn't comment on, the cat one. That they lost me. They lost me a lot. That happens. My mama lost me at one point in time. Problem is, she was carrying me when she lost me. If that makes sense. But guys, go down, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. Check out the videos that are in the description. Check out the links, man. And have fun.